Election-related violence, as some recent occurrences have already caused many to fear the worst could happen on election day. We have that on the table. And your election command center, as always, on manifesto check is on the menu tonight. As always, you're an integral part of the show. Let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is GhanaTonight on Facebook and on X. Let's get talking. Let's settle for Ghana Briefs.
The Ghana Police Service has commenced investigation into an accident that occurred on Saturday, 12th October 2024 at East Legon in Accra, leading to the death of 2 persons. A police statement indicates preliminary investigations show that the suspect driver, identified as Salifu Amwako, rammed his vehicle into another vehicle on Jani Ashie Street at East Legon, where both vehicles caught fire and burned beyond recognition. The suspect driver and other surviving victims are currently receiving medical attention. Meanwhile, one of the surviving victims has since been treated and discharged, while the bodies of the deceased victims have been deposited at the morgue for preservation and autopsy. 4 persons are feared dead and several others critically injured after a rock blasted by construction working on the Budumburam stretch of the Accra-Winneba Highway caused the tragic incident. The rock blast, which lasted for a few minutes, was done after several vehicles on the stretch were halted for the activity to take place. This is not the first time rocks have been blasted on the Budumburam section of the highways, according to the residents of the area. They say the blasting of the rock most of the time destroys the roofing sheets of houses around the Big Apple area when the construction work is happening. The injured have been rushed to the St. Gregory Hospital in Budumburam. Wife of the Vice President, Samira Baumia, has urged voters in Ejura, Setre Dumase in the Ashanti region to reconsider their long-standing support for the NDC and vote for the MPP in the coming elections. Speaking to the party members during a health walk and campaign launch in Ejura, she argued the opposition party has repeatedly failed to deliver on its promises despite overwhelming support.
Mr. Mo, Abatwo, Puntu Juma. Amanyosem ye because ye for development. Abatwa ye to ye mpesi ye beko ye chibio. Ejura Seche Dumase had dear. Menem se mo krom ana. Adansi ye beds na ama NDC abeka share se ye dia ye mobra enko ye chi ye bepne ana.
MP for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu, says the NDC plans to invoke Article 97(1)(g) of the Constitution to compel the Speaker of Parliament to declare the party as the majority side. This follows a decision of some incumbent New Patriotic Party MPP MPs, Cynthia Morrison, MP for Agona West, and Kojo Asante, MP for Suhum, together with 2 other MPs, to contest as independent candidates in the upcoming elections.
On Tuesday, the Parliament of Ghana will reconvene. That the NDC minority must become the majority from Wednesday next week. Any nuanced interpretation of Article 97 provides that if a member of Parliament on a political party ticket like MPP defects and fails to be independent, that MP ceases to be member of Parliament. And if an independent member of Parliament, by virtue of the provision of Article 97, subclause G, an independent joins a political party, that independent loses constitutional recognition and does not belong to Parliament.
There's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight here on your election command center. Coming up next, some sitting members of parliament risk losing their seats before the end of their tenure should the NDC carry through their intention to have the speaker make a determination on the status of those MPs who have filed to contest as independent candidates in the December polls. We have in fact, about 3 of them who have decided that they want to go the route as an independent candidate, even though they are serving as incumbent members of parliament in this 8th parliament. And there is the independent candidate for the Fomana constituency, the second deputy speaker of parliament, who is now going to contest as the NPP candidate. That presents a certain situation which the former minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, is seeking to test the law on this matter, making reference to precedents and what's happened before. But this is your election command center. A former minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, has said that the NDC caucus of parliament will have the speaker of parliament make a determination on whether sitting members of parliament who have filed to contest the upcoming elections as independent candidates should continue to stay in the House or vacate their seats as MPs. Now, in the Tamale South Members of Parliament's view, such MPs must vacate their seats. And this is why it makes the point. Take a look.
The Parliament of Ghana will reconvene. And when it reconvenes, I am very certain that Parliament and Ghana will go through a major constitutional test. And that constitutional test is that the NDC minority must become the majority for Wednesday next week. And assume, and this must happen if there is constitutional and legal propriety in Ghana. Because any nuanced interpretation of Article 97 provides that if a member of parliament on a political party ticket like NPP defects and fails to be independent, that MP ceases to be a member of parliament. And if an independent member of parliament, by virtue of the provision of Article 97, subclause G, an independent joins a political party, that independent loses constitutional recognition and does not belong to parliament. And even if an NDC candidate, MP, defects to become an independent, he ceases to be a member of parliament. Therefore, we will invoke the Speaker's proper and true interpretation of Article 97.
Well, that's Haruna Idrisu there. He makes a point of making reference to Article 97, 1G of the 1992 Constitution, and we're going to show you that as we go on here on Ghana Tonight to put the issues in context. And there's a reason why. And he makes the reference to the precedence that was set by Speaker Michael Quay in the case of the former member of Parliament, who eventually was elected as second deputy speaker of Parliament, was an independent candidate, decided to contest the 2020 elections as an independent candidate after he fell out with the MPP. Now they've reconciled, and he's going to contest this election on the ticket of the NPP. That's one of the 4. The second person is Cynthia Morrison, member of Parliament for the Aguna West constituency on the ticket of the NPP in this 8th Parliament. She has decided to go as an independent candidate, even though over the weekend we saw an attempt to have her injuncted to not contest it in that election. She's indicated that that is not going to stop her. Then also we have the Suhum member of Parliament, who is also the incumbent MP in this 8th Parliament, Obuafo Kojo Asante, who was decided to go as an independent candidate in the December 7 election. That's what you see on the screen right there. And then also the MPP is not alone, even though they have 3 of their people, that's persons, parliamentary candidates in there. Then you have the NDC, incumbent NDC MP for Memphis Central constituency, Peter Yao Kwachi Aka, who has also decided that he wants to go independent. If you recall, the Memphis Central constituency NDC had to rerun that primary just a little over a month ago when the wife of the musician, Keche, well, one of them also won that primary. And because of the issues that characterized that period, he's decided that he's going to go independent. If you recall, the courts were in the process of just hearing this case, but the party took a decision that if they want to go with the calendar of the court, they might just miss the period of filing. So they decided to then step in to call for a rerun, which he lost. And he's decided to go independent as well. So these are the 4. And when you see how things are playing out, Haruna Idrisu is very clear in his mind that this is going to be considered by the Speaker of Parliament. We'll see how things play out because Parliament is set to resume in the next 48 hours, all things being equal. And to get a bit more perspective into this matter, a private legal practitioner freshly called to the bar, my producer here on Ghana Tonight, Dennis Poberi Wadam Esquire, is joining us. Lawyer, good evening.
Alfred, he's still a journalist, you know.
Yeah,
Dennis.
you know, I'm just to say
anyway,
that.
thank you so much for that.
As always. Now,
Yes.
what's with this issue, first of all?
Well, so we are likely to run into yet another legal tussle with this particular matter because already the conversation out there is divided. Whereas some members of the NDC, especially the former minority leader, insist that, I mean, with what has happened so far and with the provision that he's quoted, Article 97 of the Constitution, yes, 97, 1G, especially, he believes that for all those members of parliament, I mean, sitting members of parliament, who are either going to run as independent or who are independent now and they are now going to run on the tickets of party, should vacate their seats. He says that tomorrow when Parliament reconvenes, he is going to, I mean, his side of the House would have the Speaker make a determination on that. But let's look at what Article 97 says. I mean, 97, 1G especially, that a member of Parliament shall vacate their seats in Parliament if the member leaves the political party of which they were a member at the time of their election to Parliament and joins another party, or if they seek to remain in Parliament as an independent member. So this is the article or the constitutional provision on which the Member of Parliament for Tamale South says that based on this, the 4 MPs that you put out on the screen, 3 of whom are going to run as independent candidates, an independent candidate now going to run on the ticket of the MPP, must, by virtue of this, vacate their seats. I mean, I've heard some MPP MPs who think otherwise. However, there's precedent to this.
And tell me about it.
And then the argument made out there is that because a precedent has been set already, it should not be a difficulty again.
Right.
And this has to do with the Member of Parliament for Fomena, one of the persons that you just showed.
Yeah.
In his case, he was a member of the MPP. But for some reason, internal party wranglings, he decided to run as an independent candidate. When he filed to run as an independent candidate, the MPP wrote a letter to Parliament notifying the Speaker that the seat be declared vacant.
Yeah.
Because with regards to their constitution, there's a provision that says that if a member of Parliament or a member of the party decides to run as an independent candidate, then that person automatically forfeits their membership of the party. So they make the argument that if he's not a member of our party, we have deemed him to automatically forfeit his membership. Right. Then Parliament should go ahead and invoke Article 97, 1G. Then, this was the ruling of the then Speaker of Parliament,
right,
Professor Errol Mike Okui. And this is just the part that speaks directly to what we are discussing now. He said, with all intents and purposes, he is no longer a member of the party. He has pronounced himself publicly as an independent and has filed his papers to compete against the party in his official candidate as an independent candidate on 7th December 2020. He goes on to say that having forfeited the membership of the party on whose ticket he was elected to Parliament, the operative language of the Constitution is that he shall, which is mandatory, vacate his seats in Parliament. And that was how come the MP for Fomena lost his seat at that material moment.
I see. So this was at the instance of the NPP.
NPP, yes.
The NPP wrote to Professor Michael Quay.
Yes.
That expel this Fomena MP.
Sure.
Because he's decided to go independent.
Yes.
And Speaker Michael Quay acted.
And they started off by citing a provision in their own constitution, which is Article 9.3 of the NPP Constitution, which talks about forfeiting membership.
Okay.
And under this circumstance, it talks about somebody running as an independent candidate or somebody supporting an independent candidate when the party has sponsored a candidate. You recall, it's under the same circumstances that some members of the party now, members like Hoops Nadoye, members like Boamea Samoa, the same provision of the NPP Constitution was used to, they forfeited their membership based on that. So that's largely the argument. But what we are now dealing with is now the question of whether an MP from the other side can notify Parliament that this is what is happening. So let's declare the seat of that MP vacant.
And you want to hold it right there. And Dennis Barbary Wadam. And the answer to that question, we want to seek it right now.
Right, yes.
The Honorable Haruna Idrisu is joining us on the telephone right now. Honorable Haruna Idrisu, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Good evening, and thank you very much for the opportunity and to your esteemed listeners.
Fantastic. So you heard Dennis, the private legal practitioner here, put this matter in perspective, that in the instance where you make reference to this precedence set by Speaker Michael Quay's ruling on this former member of Parliament's case, it was at the instance of the MPP. The MPP wrote to Parliament, wrote to the Speaker to take that decision. Now, in your case, the MPP hasn't written to Parliament or the Speaker to take this decision of expelling Cynthia Morrison and then also Obuafo Kuja Asante, but you want to do that. How does that apply?
The Constitution of Ghana, the 1992 Constitution, is the group norm of the Republic and the most important law that the President, Speaker, members of Parliament have all sworn to uphold and to uphold the laws of Ghana. Take a careful reading, I don't say interpretation, of Article 97(1)(g) of the Constitution. In constitutionalism and constitutional law, the provisions of Article 97(1)(g) can best be described as the rule against defection. It is provided in the Constitution so that members who are elected to Parliament on the ticket of a political party or as independent candidate cannot just wake up and defect and cause as they wish. So it is to preserve the sanctity of the 4-year mandate and the sanctity of the ticket in which you were elected to represent a particular group of people in Parliament. Now, if you read Article 97(1)(g) well, it contemplates, as we currently have, 3 members of Parliament from the New Patriotic Party, 1 member of Parliament from the NDC. And it is that in one instance, you have an elected MPP member of Parliament now choosing to file to be independent. What does that mean within the ambit of Article 97(1)(g)? Presumptively, irrebutably, it means that that person has chosen that I no longer belong to the political party that brought me to Parliament.
Right.
And therefore cannot continue to hold himself as elected member of Parliament. Now take your time again. I'm just doing a nuanced interpretation of it. Read Article 97 well. The words, it says, a member of parliament shall vacate his seat. Shall vacate his seat.
Yes.
It didn't say may. It didn't say may. Now, two, read the MPP letter well. What did they rely on? They relied on the same Article 97, even though for the purposes of their own party constitution. But they were also looking at the weight of Article 97. So it does not lie in me saying NPP or NDC should write. I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution and to uphold the laws of Ghana. That is why, decisively, my argument is that any member of parliament who chooses to belong to a political party that he didn't belong to at the time of his election, by virtue of Article 97(1)(g), loses constitutional recognition.
I just want to
constitutional recognition.
I see. But what do you say to those lawyers?
If an independent now runs on a political party ticket, or a political party elected MP now runs as independent, or a political party ran independent, they lose constitutional recognition on a true and proper interpretation of the ordinary meaning of 97(1)(g). We may invoke the Speaker of Parliament to interpret it if it is part of our standing orders, or the best forum would be for somebody to challenge the Supreme Court. But that would be after they have been asked to vacate their seat. If they feel that they have not been dealt with in a manner which is just and lawful, then they can go to the Supreme Court. But this is a very, very simple, unambiguous provision of the Constitution that must be upheld and respected. Don't forget, political parties are also bound by the 1992 Constitution, and the NPP is bound by the provisions of the 1992 Constitution. Read Article 55 well, which is on political parties of Ghana. And therefore, it does not lie within me to tell MPP to write to Parliament, whether they write or not. Has the conduct or action of an elected member of Parliament infringed on the 1992 Constitution? That is a matter.
Right, but and I want to run this other legal proposition by you as well. Others who make that strong contention that only the High Court, not the Speaker, or members of Parliament, or political parties can declare a parliamentary seat vacant.
High Court on matters of fundamental human rights, yes. Exclusive interpretation of the Constitution lies in the bosom of the Supreme Court. But when do you interpret an instrument? When the words are absurd, when the meaning of the words does not make sense to you as an ordinary person. So you read 97(1). What is your understanding of it? That if you belong to a party at the time of an election and you decide to join another political party or go independent, have you respected the tenets of that provision of the Constitution? It is not for Haruna Adansi to decide, but it is for Haruna Adansi to raise it in pursuit of my respect for the Constitution of Ghana and for the laws of Ghana.
But certainly you make the point that
institution to take decision as appropriate.
Right. If this decision is so taken, it will be subject to judicial review, possibly.
Who wants judicial review? Why are you raising judicial review? The Constitution is clear that vacate your seat if you do A, B, C, D. Vacate your seat. Like in your instance, your wife tells you that if you do A, B, C, then you'll be divorced. When you do A, B, C, you have to be divorced. Unless she decides to start crying that don't get divorced. And the cry will not help in this instance. That's just for the humor of it. But the point has been made. Are we in infringement? Are we supposed to uphold the Constitution or to hold it in breach?
Well, we'll see how the coming days will look like, because you have indicated that when Parliament resumes, you're going to do this, and it will be interesting to see, because there's also an NDC MP.
One of the persons I've been trying to reach to get an opinion myself is Professor Kumodo of the University of Ghana. and I'll talk to other Professor Bochi and others. But
yes, and then Professor Kwekwaza as well. Professor Kwekwaza,
yes, Piano and Co. But let's see. In any case, the framers of the Constitution, why did they put this provision there? That's why I describe it as a rule against defection.
I see.
I've heard people argue that they are now going to be independent in future. Who cares about the future? So at that time, when they go and they are elected, they are not defecting.
Well, you see, that's another legal position that's been espoused. That yes, that the decision
does not arise at all. You see, so I'm happy. I want to see how the people will respond to this. You see, you can't have a law which suits you when you want to use it, and then you abandon it when it does not suit you. That is a quagmire the MPP will be subjected to.
We'll see how things play out.
And rule of law is rule of law. It's not rule of the MPP.
I thank you very much for your time joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Haruna Idrisu is the Member of Parliament for the Tamale South constituency, and then also the former minority leader, right? And you hear the points he makes about
for him
the fact
it is clear.
It's clear, it's cast in stone, and
yes,
if you do A, B, C, D, you certainly must go.
Yes. But of course, the Speaker would have to make that determination. And as to whether he will go with his predecessor or he will take a different route, I mean, that will be determined in the coming days. But of course, there are some who also make the case that the MPP must stick by its own principles. Because if John Boydu then had written this letter to categorically state that by the conduct of the Member of Parliament for Formanat then had forfeited his seat or forfeited his membership of the party, and to that extent, Parliament should declare his seat vacant. Many are making the argument that they should still hold by that same principle and perhaps write the same letter or a similar letter to Parliament to announce these independent candidates. But, I mean, we look forward to see what the coming days will present in this particular situation.
Certainly so. And let's hear from Obuafo Kojo Asante, who's the Suhum Member of Parliament, incumbent MP. He's decided to go independent. He's one of four persons on this. Let's hear him.
They did the help. They petitioned me. And then they said that it doesn't matter what has happened. I should come and serve them. I should come and continue my work. So if you are talking about what, I mean, sort of the impetus, my voice, what is pushing me to do what I'm doing or to do this declaration, then all that I would say is that it is Suhum people. It is what? Suhum people. One person cannot say that you are going for independence. One person. Can one person go for independence? I'm asking you, can one person go for independence? One person cannot go for independence, right? Yeah, it is the base. It is what? The base. I have only one vote. I have only one vote. So I cannot stand here and say that.
That's the incumbent Suhum Member of Parliament who lost at the primaries to Frank Esiedubakwen, Colin Protozwa, who is the Director of Political Affairs at the Office of the Chief of Staff at the Presidency, going into this election as well. So we'll see, especially with the Agona West one involving Cynthia Morrison, the incumbent MP, and this court case and how things are playing out. See how things go in the coming days on this. But coming up next year on Ghana Tonight, the Electoral Commission is set to exhibit the provisional voters register again after correcting errors, pointing out the issues that came up as a result of what the NDC put out. And it's one thing that we've been following quite closely. They had already given an indication of what they intend to do going forward. And then also the errors that the NDC had pointed out in this first provisional register that was exhibited. The NPP had also indicated they had found some errors as well, and they were going to present it to the Electoral Commission. But then again, the NDC was quite vocal on this matter, and this is what we're going to coming up next year on Ghana Tonight. And let's engage a bit further on this matter, because earlier today, the Electoral Commission put out a press statement, and we have portions of that statement is going to be on your screen right now. Electoral Commission makes the point about the re-exhibition of the provisional voters register. And you recall that they had given this notice on the 1st of October when they issued the press statement that they were going to re-exhibit the provisional voters register online. So this is just to reinforce the point that from tomorrow, October 15, and to the end of Saturday, October 19, 2024, they are going to re-exhibit the provisional voters register that contains the corrections of the errors that the NDC pointed out within this period. So from Tuesday, 15 October, voters can check the details via short code *711 *51#, free of charge. So this is the USSD code they're using. Voters can also check their details from the website. Then they give the website the ec.gov.gh. Click on the pop-up link and at the bottom right corner of the screen and enter the 10-digit voter ID number to receive the ID, that's the voter registration details. Also, the public should note that any discrepancies identified must be reported to the district office of the commission where they are registered voters for correction. Once the re-exhibition exercise ends, the online re-exhibition exercise ends on Saturday, 19th October, voters will still be able to check their details online, but cannot, and take a notice of this, you cannot request for correction of their details. So even though you can continue checking your details after the 19th, you cannot request for correction. And the political parties are required to use the template provided by the commission to them to submit any discrepancies identified during the re-exhibition period. So bear in mind, this re-exhibition of the voters register that purportedly captures the corrected errors that the NDC identified is going to be exhibited online and not offline as the NDC was also proposing. So you do this USSD code and then you go online, click the link, and then it's going to happen. So it's starting from tomorrow. But there are concerns about, for instance, the hard-to-reach communities and other parts of this country where there's no mobile phone connectivity. How can they take part in this online re-exhibition to check if there are errors as well? And then all the issues that has to do with even those who have smartphones and they want to go online, they have their own challenges. Those who want to use the USSD code as well, if you don't have mobile connectivity in some of these areas across the country, that's going to be a limitation as well. And Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is a Deputy Director of ITL Elections for the NDC, who's going to be joining us on Zoom in a bit. But just take a look at how things are playing out from tomorrow. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is joining us right now. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Good evening, Alfred. Let me say good evening to your cherished viewers and all our brethren across the country.
Great. Now, under normal circumstances, you're supposed to have the provisional voters register that is supposed to be re-exhibited, or that is expected to be re-exhibited tomorrow by now, right? Do you have the PVR that should be re-exhibited tomorrow online?
Alfred, we don't have the provisional voter register as of now. I mean, before I left office, we're still making frantic effort to see if the Electoral Commission could send us the provisional register as agreed at the last IPAC meeting. In fact, at the last IPAC meeting, it was agreed that they will give us the provisional register within 2 weeks or earlier. We later requested for it, and they came out with a statement that they indicated 2 weeks, and that we should give them time within the 2 weeks for them to give us the provisional register. So today, when they issued a statement, and that tomorrow they will be exhibiting the register, and then with all its attendant antecedents and all that, we thought they would have given us the register, because you have not given the political, I don't know of other parties, but I can speak for my party, the NDC. We have not received the provisional register, and yet they are going ahead to do the exhibition tomorrow.
So then what are you going to use to check, to identify the errors if you don't have it?
That is the question, Alfred. That is a big question that I believe this question is for the GOS, because they gave us a letter on Friday, and in the letter, they attached the template to be used to collate the discrepancies if we identify some in the provisional register. So I was laughing at them and saying, these people, you have not given us a register, and you are already giving us a template to collate the discrepancies. Are you trying to say that you are anticipating some discrepancies in your provisional register you are going to give us? So we thought maybe over the weekend they would have given us a register. They didn't. And today we've been in the office, I left office very late, but still the register was not available. But we have IPAC meeting tomorrow, and we'll take it up with them over there to find out what is the rationale behind that. Giving us a template without the register, and then you've gone further to announce that you are going to exhibit it online. But we still will have challenge with the online issues.
I see, yes. Do you have or see any merit in those concerns raised about this online re-exhibition which starts tomorrow, especially those who are in areas where there's no mobile phone connectivity or coverage or network reach as well, and other attendant issues? Is that one that you identify with as a party and you're going to raise tomorrow at this IPAC meeting?
Yes, Alfred. In fact, this their online thing is much ado about nothing. Because how many people understand this online thing in this country? My people in the rural communities, I'm from a rural area, and I can tell you 3/4 of my people over there, they don't understand anything about online. They will not even go, they don't even understand. How are they even going to do it? Imagine the rural populace. They don't understand this. This shortcutting they have put in there, they don't understand it. And so, in fact, you are going to cut off a lot of voters from accessing their details. It's not going to work. It's much ado about nothing. I mean, they are just trying to whitewash the process and get away with it. And that's why we're telling them that, look, they shouldn't even bring the matter of cost because, look, democracy itself is costly. And they know it. We've been telling them. I mean, if you want Ghanaians to participate fully in this exhibition thing that you are talking about, you don't go this tangent. That is why our electoral system is, look, it's manual. It's fully manual. Everything about electoral, if you look at the framers of our 1992 constitution, they were very clear in their mind. They knew that, look, the illiteracy rate in this country is so small that you cannot introduce e-voting or e-collation or e-transmission, not to talk of now going e-exhibition. So you see, the Electoral Commission is gradually trying to introduce some electronic thing into our electoral system, which is not applicable per law. That is not what the framers of our constitution envisage. And so for them going this tangent, I think they must be stopped somewhere because it's just not the best. Going e-exhibition,
right?
We haven't gone there yet. Unless we rightly said, look, there are communities, if you go up north, there are certain communities, you don't get mobile network at all completely, Alfred. There's no mobile network over there. Sometimes before you make call, you have to climb a tree, even a tall tree, to stand on top of a tree in order to access a network to make call. And so, such a community, what do you expect them to do? And when you are bringing e-exhibition, what are they going to do? How are they going to access their data?
There are those who identify with this concerns indeed. So you go into this IPAC meeting tomorrow. Let's see how things play out. We will be there. Thank you so much, Dr. Ashitanko.
Very well.
Appreciate it.
I'm grateful.
It's the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. And that concern about the lack of education on the usage of the USSD code that has been provided ahead of tomorrow. The exercise of the online re-exhibition starts tomorrow, plus these areas that don't have network connection is also another matter. But we hit the streets earlier today, and in fact, a number of you shared your concerns with us. But let's go straight into our People's Voice segment for tonight. Well, so Emmanuel Samani is somewhere in the capital right now. Is connecting with us with a number of people who are with him right now to share their thoughts on the People's Voice segment on this matter of the online re-exhibition of the voters register by the Electoral Commission. Samani, what are they telling you?
Well, thank you very much, Alfred. Good evening and welcome to the People's Voice from the Oxford Streets in Accra. I am Emmanuel Samani. And as you know, according to the Electoral Commission, they would begin the re-exhibition of the voter register from tomorrow up until Saturday. Now, here's the twist. It's not going to be in person. Rather, it's going to be online via the portal or a USSD. So we're on the streets of Accra to find out what people make of this move by the Electoral Commission to digitalize the re-exhibition of the voter register. So let's pick some thoughts right here, right now. So, Chief, many thanks for your time. The EC, as usual, are saying that this time around, their re-exhibition is going to be online. What do you make of it?
Well, to me, I think Ghana is not yet there because, as we all know, a lot of people are computer illiterate. So to do the exhibition via a short code or on the internet, it would deprive a lot of people from actually checking or going to actually see if their names are on the register. I would have preferred the EC done it the normal way, the way we used to know, so that many people can go and then check their names on the register. I think that's
all right. Thank you very much. Let's pick some more thoughts on this move by the EC. Let me just quickly engage this gentleman. Many thanks for your time, sir. You're live on Ghana Tonight. Now, the Electoral Commission says they are doing their re-exhibition online via a website and via a USSD code. What do you make of this?
I mean, I don't know what to say about this, but I think that's another way of they're trying to steal another election again. Because I mean, think about this: how many people do you think they have access to this, whatever they're trying to do? I mean, I don't want to bring it in out of numbers, but the population here is only few people. I know this, we are into this social media and everything or whatever. People are now getting to that type of stuff. But how many people do you think they're going to have access to this kind of stuff? I mean, I feel like that's another way of finding a way to steal election. And I think that's African for you. Africa, they do things and they get away with it. I mean, I want to know, the thing I want to know is when do they come out with this? Because if you're going to come out with this, then you have to talk about this maybe 2-3 years from now, before, but you can't just come out and say you're gonna do this type of stuff. It doesn't make no sense to me.
But I mean, usually some of the issues that come with this in-person has to do with like time. But in this case, you can be in the comfort of your home, your own space.
Yeah, I get that one. But like I said, how many people do you think have access to that? There's a lot of people here in this country that they don't even know how to access this mobile phone and stuff.
Manuel Somani then, and those concerns are shared by a number of you as well online, and I thank you so much for the people's voice as always. Make a date and have your voice and have a say in what we say here on Ghana Tonight. We're back after this quick break. Coming up next, we'll have Manifesto Check. Stay with us.
One bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. One bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Fellow countrymen and women, the desperate NPP, realizing that they are losing the 2024 elections, has once again resorted to lies to smear the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The NPP's claim that Mahama was against free SHS and will cancel it when elected is nothing but a barefaced lie calculated to deceive you. John Mahama started the implementation of the progressively free SHS program in 2015 with day students and had a clear plan to expand the program to cover borders, hence cannot be said to be against free SHS. What he has been against is the poor implementation of the program. Contrary to the lies of the NPP, the next NDC Mahama government will improve the implementation of the free SHS program to make it better. We will do this by scrapping the double-track system, provide a dedicated source of funding for the program, include private SHS, improve the feeding of our children, and enhance the quality of learning outcomes. Listen to the truth from the horse's own mouth.
Free senior high school education has come to stay. If anybody tells you that I, John Dramani Mahama, son of E.A. Mahama, will abolish free SHS when I come, tell the person he's a bloody liar. What I'm against is the poor implementation of the free SHS, which is creating great inconvenience for the parents, for the students, and for the teachers. And one of the things we'll do when we come back into office, and I know inshallah we're coming back into office, is to complete the 200 community day schools that we began, so that we can bring a quick end to the double track system.
Beware of the NPP's lies. Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
If whiskey could talk, Johnny Walker Black Label would sing. With notes that only come with 12 years in a barrel. Sweet, smooth toffee, rich fruit, and a touch of smoke. Tastes as good as it sounds.
Drink responsibly, not for sale to persons under 18 years of age. Not recommended for pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
While the boys get front row seats to an exciting Premier League game, the girls are next door, catching up on a scenic getaway to the Australian outback. Watching together is always better. That's why DSTV Stream has content for the whole family to enjoy. Families that watch together, bond together.
From the South Atlantic Ocean comes the finest beach resort in the oil city, the Groove Esipong Beach Resort. Unwind in 53 beautifully appointed rooms and suites, including our presidential suite, each offering breathtaking views and unparalleled comfort. Be hosted in our elegant Nana Frimpong the First restaurant and experience our local and continental dishes. Visit us today and experience a taste of Africa. The Groove Esipong Beach Resort, where luxury meets adventure.
Luckiest star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere. 8K. Hey, you can get 8K. Get that packing so you have to one line. Hey, wait.
You can put it on his tab. This is my man. Good luck.
Hey, yo, Bill Radio. We are star 712. It's what you follow. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let me choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there, tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na mkwan point no mo hwe me modam no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra me enu foforo kwa na mkwan mu a eba and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama no nura ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you. Ofakrabato hello hey ohwehwe what che okay a free bra wo di end point wa dance am me ko ye no me Johnson sema na enkoyie en paso na my emre nyina na magina sebema na me no be fie for there e ho na nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
Hello! I bring you all exciting news from Franco Trading Enterprise. For the quickest and efficient way of keeping your clothes and garments clean, Franco Trading Enterprise has brought in a new washing machine for you and your home. This washing machine comes in sizes. We have the smaller size and the bigger size. This washing machine is easy to operate. It saves time and energy. It extends the life of your clothes, and the most exciting part of it all is that it has low power consumption. So for bulk purchasing and retailing, visit any of our branches nationwide or on our website at www.francotrading.com. You can call the numbers on the screen for any assistance. Franco Trading Enterprise, the home of quality washing machine.
I see, Monsieur Namid 200 Ghana could also sister. Buy in your 5 cities and then 40 Ghana. Hey, take one container your 40 to 50 pesos and not 20 Ghana. And then Adansi or local do 30 Ghana. Adai, on my bay money away.
Oh, so Casa, me show Dean. Sha, Doctor me the 20 Ghana. Ah, me pay for me 15 Ghana cedi a day. Omo be na ewomi ya koya na ate yesan bai
hwe enye duane bonko an ekosoro John Dramani Mahama time Smith 1 bag ne ye 24 Ghana cedis me nko to Smith 1 bag a yesi eye 108 cedis ayon ross ye beton sen it is say wo si dan a sen na wo be say John Dramani Mahama ba ma gie a ye be wo
ya nya bibia fa ho okom be kuyen yo
okom ne de enkuyen e be fa ye ho adwen pa na MPP aban wadi ehwammo ankasa
media minim wo haw na media mehwe masetirem na mato ababa
ene sa na tie de a eye akufu ade ne ba wo mi a nyame ya dom ne se December 7 dura ye be tuo masese de YouTube
ye be tu ankasa
hwe wasetna moto abapa e de sakraya papa beba wa brabo mu to abama John Mahama ne NDC.
Welcome back. One person has been arrested in connection with the Mamobi violence, that incident that happened over the weekend. Now, 2 people were shot and 6 others are said to be receiving treatment at the police hospital and Mamobi General Hospital following that clash between the 2 major political party supporters. This incident occurred near the Mamobi market when sympathizers were having their weekly campaign walks. The police, in its latest statement on the incident, said it is working around the clock to get all identified perpetrators arrested to face justice. This is happening barely 24 hours after that particular incident. And the statement further went on to assure Ghanaians that investigations are ongoing into the disturbances, but this development raises concerns about how the police can also position itself to deal with these matters going into elections. And security analyst Dr. Adam Bona is joining us right now. Dr. Bona, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. And with all of this that's happening, not treating it as a case in isolation, how should this influence the police's strategy towards planning the security of the elections ahead of us?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Alfred. For me, good evening to your viewers. For me, I think that this is a very sad situation, something that we should have been celebrating, if you ask me, because then you have members or supporters of the 2 big political parties in this country coming together to go on, to undertake an event. And unfortunately, you have some miscreants who join them with firearms and shoots, a number of rounds into others, injuring some, in the most dastardly way. I think that I want to see the Ghana Police Service, and I will pat them in the back. We are told they have managed to arrest one of them. They should fish the rest of them out, whichever holes they are. They should fish all of them out and make sure they are punished. But to answer you directly, Alfred, I think that the police would have to probably, if possible, let the general public know, especially for some of these gatherings. If some of these gatherings would take place among some of the, or some of these activities, they would have to, the police should be notified of these activities so that they are able to send men around to put surveillance on miscreants who might want to take advantage of the impending elections. Alfred, I think this is important, or else it looks like we have loose firearms in the hands of hoodlums, and they might use it to perpetrate a lot of crimes if we are not careful.
And what should be that element of action to send that confidence, especially to the political parties, that indeed the police is on top of their game and they can have confidence in them to be impartial in exercising their duties in security on election day?
I think that the police should descend on these miscreants, severely. They should, apprehend all of them. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter. We are told they are members of the, I don't know whether MPP or NDC, but I'm hearing they belong to, the political parties. They should arrest them. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a political party, if you are a supporter, if you're an executive member, it doesn't matter which position you belong to. And usually when the police, effect such arrests, in the past, you would see, big wigs in some of these parties coming up to say, release them, they are our boys. But I think that recent, activities of the police put some of these fears, allay some of these fears, because then they have ensured that those who must be arrested have been arrested. And we want to see the same as they've started arresting them. They should arrest them and parade them. We need to see them. Who are they? The videos are out there. Their faces have been shown. And I'm sure that the police would have to, the states or the law should use them, as a form of ensuring that others who would want to perpetuate the same crimes would probably stay away from it, or else you would also fall in the same, soup as they have found themselves now.
I see. Would you agree with those who point to some intelligence failure there on the part of the police? Because if you have MPP and NDC supporters going on a walk, no matter how you expect that it's going to be peaceful, you should prepare for some of these incidents, is it not?
Well, I'm not too sure about intelligence failure. I'm not too sure about that, because I'm told it's not the first time. I'm told it's something that is a routine activity they do every weekend. Therefore, if it's a routine activity, who would have suspected that some miscreants would be armed? And you can see those who did this, intended to do that. They intended to shoot into the atmosphere. They intended to shoot at people. They intended to harm people. But just like probably we had, the former President Mahama did say, those who, injured, fired, and, fired at those who were at this Ayawa's West Wagon thing, up to today, even though recommendations, have been for them to be probably punished, they haven't been punished. And so as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't want to say it's an intelligence failure. Probably now the police should be more, they should let us know that when these things are going to happen, they cannot just happen without they being informed of some of these activities, so that they would have their men around to ensure that everyone, is safe around such vicinity when the activity is taking place.
Adamona, appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Dr. Adamona is really analyst. On behalf of the rest of the team, I want to say thank you so much for staying with us. Join us same time tomorrow for another conversation. I'm Alfred Akansi. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.